Welcome back. Fox Valley Technical College is celebrating a 10-year anniversary this month. Their massive public safety training center opened in 2015 after a decade of planning. The $34.5 million facility contributed nearly $60 million to the regional economy during its construction. It still pumps in nearly $12 million a year while providing public safety agencies locally, nationally, and even globally highly trained students time to take a field trip. And we welcome you into the Public Safety Training Center here for Fox Valley Tech alongside the dean of this facility, John Sorensen, and of the school. So John, you spent a lot of years in law enforcement before you came to Fox Valley Tech and State Patrol, Department of Corrections. When you were training to start your career, what was available to you and how different is that from what's available to folks here now for the last 10 years?
Yeah, great question. So I started approximately 26 years ago, and it looks a lot different now, this training environment, what we have here today as opposed to when I started. A couple things. For one, the hours have changed in what's required for like law enforcement. When I started, it was approximately 360 hours for the Law Enforcement Academy, and now it's 720 hours to be certified in law enforcement and become an officer. But the facility that we have here that was built and opened in January 2015 just looks much different than what would have been available for me. The real life training or the real life scenarios that we have to offer all of our agencies, whether it's law enforcement or the fire programs and fire departments, is where if you can think of it, we can do it here.
One-stop shopping.
It is.
Was that the goal 10 years ago, or did you guys evolve into what you are now through the course of these 10 years?
Yeah, so it really was the goal. There was a lot of, it took about 10 years of what would this facility look like, the planning that went into it. And the goal was to partner with all of our public agencies within our district. And really, what is your needs, your training needs? And we've always, that was our goal, is to be partners with those agencies. And then our number one mission is to train students.
Sure.
That's what we're here for, is to train students.
We're now inside where they train students in jail training. And again, another example of how you're able to do so much in this facility. We talk a lot, especially now, I guess we could talk about Department of Corrections and training and how they're trying to recruit more workers. What have you seen evolve in terms of the need for your training in the 10 years that this center has been open?
Yeah, great question. So this is actually our jail lobby, and it's a replica of a jail. And so we actually have a sally port when we do our training that they would come in, our students would come in, and they actually get to experience it from start to finish, from vehicle, how to enter the vehicle, how to get into the sally port, and then to how to actually book the jail. And so they get that full training experience. That's something in my career, when I started, I didn't have that experience. What I would call, when we did training scenarios, oftentimes there would be some pretend scenarios. We don't have to pretend here. We have the real jail. But since we've opened in 2015, we actually have run 30 academies for agencies within our district and agencies without our district. So we've helped those facilities fill their staffing needs.
Very noticeable, the logos, Pierce Manufacturing, Oshkosh Corporation, and it's one thing that whenever I talk to some of the technical colleges, it's always these collaborations with the local businesses. How important has that been to developing this site?
Yeah, great question. So partnerships are really important to our college and the Public Safety Training Center. And we're great partners with Pierce and Oshkosh. We work well together in training our students. And one of the things that we work with Pierce and Oshkosh is the fire truck. And so we're able to have the latest and greatest for equipment for our students to get that real life experience when they're here. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is our students working together, because that's real life experience. And so our paramedic students, our EMT, and our fire students do come together in training, and to have this equipment for them to get that real life experience, to be able to drive an ambulance out into our training village to a scenario is very, very important. So when they get to that job, they've had that experience.
And we finished back where we started in the lobby here of this facility. And again, we've had a chance to show everybody just how massive this is. But how unique is it Compared to other places around the country that do what you do, how unique are you in the way you have yours set up here?
Yeah, this is a unique facility. The Public Safety Training Center is a 96,000 square foot facility. It sits on approximately 75 acres. And then we also have the ARF facility, Airport Rescue Firefighting Facility, and that sits on about 25 acres. So about 100 acres total.
And you mentioned the ARF. You can do things there that nobody else can do in that industry, right?
Yeah, it's a specialized aircraft that we had built. It's been open for approximately 5 years. And so over that span of 5 years, we've trained folks from approximately 20 different states and 4 different countries.
So if you look at some of the numbers, I'm going to throw some out here. For police officers, you've averaged a graduating class of 80 a year. For that ARF program, you've averaged a class of over 70 a year. It seems like small if you think of traditional graduating classes from a college, but in unique specialized training, those seem to be very large numbers. Over 200 firefighters per year, over 50 EMTs per year. Does that pace exceed maybe what was thought of when you guys developed this 10 years ago?
Yeah, well, I think what that pace speaks to is that there's a strong need out there in agencies in terms of needing training and needing people in their agencies. And so that is, when you put all those numbers together, what we accomplished over the last 10 years, it's pretty great to see how we're contributing to our community.
You know, that begs the follow-up question, which is what can the next 10 years bring for this facility?
Yeah, we talk about that. What does vision look like for the next 10 years? And one thing is for sure, we want to train students here. We want to be partners for all of our agencies. We want them to have a great training experience. We want them to come here and train with us.